All right, man. So we're live, man. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram. And we're recording for YouTube. So let's continue what we were talking about yesterday. Was it yesterday? Come on in, man. Yesterday, the key and at central of all this shit, man, if you're trying to make money, like you're running a business. I said this today on my story. I don't care what business you're in. It'll go out of fucking business. I don't care what you do. You could own a restaurant, dry cleaners, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor. One day your hands won't work. One day they're going to fire you. One day there's going to be a virus. One day they're going to let you go. I promise you, no matter what it is you do for a living right now, you will not be needed at some point in the future. But what'll still be there when you drive through town are all these houses. One day it dawned on me. I was hanging out with this old dude and we went through town and he was saying, yeah, there used to be a Dairy Queen over there. And over there that used to be Walmart. And over here that used to, but you know what was the same? The fucking real estate. It was all still there. So whatever you're doing now to make money, you won't be doing it your whole life. It'll change, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Especially. Which means you have to extract profits out of whatever you're doing. And you have to invest those profits. And so in business, they call that margin. And we talked about this idea about the well, right? Out of my free ebook. And the well went over here to these buckets you got to fill, right? Basic shit. This is the original money flow blueprint. This is the original money flow blueprint. How's our light looking? All right, we got a couple people. Man, I can't even understand this Twitch stuff. Look at that. We got a couple of people on Twitch. Probably some weirdos. Probably a bunch of weirdos, huh? I don't know. We'll see. So in the book that I give you, like here, it's fucking yours. Read it. I don't even follow up with you. Like it's up to you to read it. There's only a couple ways to get rich, man. I don't know if you know this. There's only a couple. One, you can own a business. Owning a business is the single best way to possibly get rich. It's the most realistic way for most people who acquire wealth is they own a business. They own a restaurant, they own a dry cleaners, they own this, they own that, right? Most people don't become millionaires just trucking it out, working a job. You can, if you follow what I'm going to show you. And it's really the same regardless of, it's really the same. I used to say this, and I still do all the time. Anybody in America can get rich regardless of age, race, or financial situation, meaning you can begin to take the steps and put yourself on this path, this blueprint. So we talk about this being a well, and it's like an old school well where you lower a bucket down, right? We talked about this in the last video. And the water you pull up is the money that you make. Whether you work for Uber, you're a gamer on Twitch, you're a YouTuber, make money on Instagram like I do, write books and get royalties. I own a bunch of rental properties. I own a business, right? I had a job. I used to be a prison guard. Before that, I was in the army. So whatever it is you do, man, whatever it is you do to make money, that's this. That's this well. Now, chances are it ain't enough. That's the big problem you're going to push up against. You don't make enough money. You don't make enough money to do the things you want to do. You don't make enough money to invest in things you want to invest in. You don't make enough money to date the women you want to date or to have the men you want to have or drive the car you want to drive or live in the house you want to live. Now, you may have convinced yourself, I'm cool with this house. I like this car. This dude's cool. I like her. But the reality is, if we were to be honest, you're not happy. You can't be. If you're happy, you're going against nature. In nature, nature wants to expand. It's a universal fucking principle. Nature wants more. You cut down a forest, it grows back bigger and greener. So if inside of you, you're like, I'm cool, I'm good, then you're operating outside of the universal principles of growth, man. You're supposed to want more. That seed was planted in you the day you were born. Inside the book, The Science of Getting Rich, it talks about it was planted in you. That need you have for more, I want to have more, I want to have more. See, people teach you, no, you don't want more. People put that shit in you. Maybe you're good with what you have. You should be grateful for this, and you should be grateful. You should be grateful that you have the ability to get up tomorrow to go try to get more, right? And it's okay to be happy with what you have while at the same time wanting more. And it's kind of like this idea that you should be patient with the long game. And we're going to talk about that. Over here, we have investments, right? This is the investment bucket. And we're going to get to that. And you have to be patient with these, right? But you have to be impatient with this part. So a lot of people get impatient with the investing part. Like their stocks are going up and down. They're getting impatient. No. You need to get impatient with your ass. You need to get your ass up and get to fucking work. And a lot of people spend a lot of time at work, but the time isn't productive. So if we take let's say you take 2 days a week off. All right, you deserve it, right? You've been working so hard at work. Most people work maybe 4 hours if they're even at fucking work. Half the time you're on your phone and doing other things. I get it, that's not everybody. But I'm not stupid. I go out into the world. I see people at work. They're not engaged very much. But let's say you take 2 days a week off. That's 8 fucking days a month. That's 8 days a month. You got no money coming in. And you're wondering, I don't have any money. Yeah, no shit. You don't have any productive time. So you got to figure out how to have money coming in 24 hours a day. You should wake up and there's a bing on your phone that says you just got paid. You were asleep. You got paid. How do you do that? That's what you got to figure out, right? What's up with Twitch, man? We got anybody on Twitch? Look at that. We got people laughing. We got a bunch of broke motherfuckers laughing. They're like, oh, look at this dummy. They're all broke, living in mom's house, playing video games, but they were laughing. Right, aren't you? Weirdos. They're at mom's house, broke. Oh boy, I wish I could buy another video game. I wish I could spend more of my life just sitting here playing fucking video games all day, not making any money. Right? Is that what you're doing? Now, if you're 12, I'm going to give you an excuse. You're 14, bro. You should be doing something. People used to fight in wars at 14. 14-year-olds today are a bunch of wimps, dude. They used to fight in the Civil War at 14. Today, if you yelled at one, you actually might lose your children. People are soft, man. I make fun of genders on my Instagram. They ban me from going live. Are you fucking kidding me? A joke? That's where we're at in society. You joke now. So I know those people get offended by that, take 2 days a week off. We multiply that, that's 8 days a month, right? Multiply that times a year. They got 100 days a year, they're not even making money. And you wonder, well, why aren't we getting ahead? Because you ain't making no money. So if you spend 100 plus days a year with literally no money coming in, like those are dead days. There's no money coming in, none. Matter of fact, not only is there not money coming in, you're spending money. So you have 100 plus days, no money coming in. Matter of fact, you're spending money. You go to the store, you put gas in the cart, you go here, you go there, you turn the lights on. No matter what you do, that money starts ticking. These lights are running, those phones, these cameras, this board, everything costs money, right? So the moment you wake up, money starts ticking. Tick, 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 and you got to push against that. So the trick is you have to get on the other side of the cash register, meaning you have to begin to allocate money into things that pay you money. And you don't necessarily want to be there to get paid, right? So one thing like writing a book, like you write it one time, you put a bunch of time and money in it, nobody pays you, and then you put it out, and if it sells, you get paid. 2 years from now, you could get paid. And there's a lot of things like that. That's called royalties, right? We talk about that in the book. So royalties are one, right? Royalties, what else we got? Dividends is another, right? You could get paid in dividends. You could own shares of AT&T, right? What else is there? Real estate, right? You could own real estate, RE. Real estate could pay you money, right? There's all kinds of these things. There's business development companies, there's REITs, there's all kinds of, and you say, well, I live in New Jersey, I can't buy real estate. At some point, you got to stop making fucking excuses, man. There's a lot of places you can invest in real estate and stay in your hometown. You ever heard of a company called NRIA? NIRA advertises all the time on CNBC and Fox Business. What do? They pool money together, right? It's called a syndication. So they take my money, your money, 100 other people's money, and they go buy a fucking skyscraper. You think individual people own skyscrapers? No, that's investment groups. Who do you think owns malls? You think one dude owns a mall? No, that's an investment group. Who do you think owns a hospital? You think that's one guy? No, that's an investment group. And you can get in those. That world's open to anybody, man. Especially today with the thumb. If you can play a video game on Twitch, fucking sit around playing a video game all day, you can invest in these things. It would just require you start reading. You'd have to actually want to do it. Well, guess what? Those things are going to pay you money. Once you put the money in there, it's going to keep coming. You don't ever have to put more back in. So that becomes this concept of I put in, now I receive, right? So some of these 100 days now aren't debt days. Now you have money coming in. Well, let's say you go out and you buy your own. You buy a couple rental properties, right? You know, I got like 15 of these. Well, guess what? On the first of the month, when everybody else is paying bills, I'm collecting. What is that? That's positioning. So you have to position yourself. This is what the money flow is all about, man, that I talk about in the book. You got to position yourself. This ain't, dude, nobody's coming to your house and inviting you to this party. Nobody's going to come and say, hey, you want to get rich? Nobody's going to do that. You're going to have to do this shit on your own. You're going to have to do what I call push your intent into the universe, meaning you got to go get it, man. Nobody's coming to help you. Your mom and dad don't know how to fucking do it. If they did, they'd be rich. And it isn't working day after day after day at some fucking job. That's not it either, man. Working is honorable. Jim Rohn said that wages are fine. Wages are honorable. Like a man should work. If your desire is not to work, then there's something wrong with you, man. Because human beings were created to work. But you were created to do work that serves other people. That's the secret. You understand that, right? The secret to getting rich is serving other people. And people laugh about that. Why do you think Tom Brady gets paid so much money? Because the thing that Tom Brady does, one, very few people can do it. You can't do it, right? I can't do it. And two, he entertains us. And we pay more money for entertainment than we do for other things. And so therefore, he leveraged himself through thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Why do you think Beyonce gets paid so much? Because millions of people give her $1. She leverages herself, her effort, her time, her talent is pushed into other people. But when you're a school teacher, there's no leverage. You get a set wage paid by the state, determined by the school. This is how much you pay. Now people may say, well, that's not fair. Nobody fucking asked you. Nobody gives a shit, really, to be honest. That's not how society's arranged. People pay more because the people complaining about it, they pay Beyonce. So the person's all pissed, well, school teachers should make more money while they watch HBO and pay for cable television and distribute their money. See, you give all your money to corporations. You give it to AT&T and Verizon and insurance companies and car companies and banks. You go work all month to give all of your money away. Everyone does. And until you begin to see that, goddamn, everything I'm doing is just to give it to other people. At some point, then you got to realize, okay, well, I need to keep it. And that's where it starts. I got to keep my own money. But then I got to figure out what am I going to do with my own money to make money with it, right? And so that's what the money flow comes about. This is about a well. And at some point, the reason I say it like that is you got to get pissed, man. If you're broke and you're not pissed, I don't know, man. You're going to just stay that way, I guess. Shit, I don't know. Let's see. He said, congrats on the 100K. Appreciate you. We got some fans on Twitch. I'm surprised. I'm all talking shit. They're probably friends of mine. If I am, I apologize. Not really. You motherfuckers are out here playing video games. You know all that time you're doing that, you're wasting your time, right? I know. You're just like, oh man, that's how I'll relax. Man, you ain't done shit. Why you need to relax? Some of you guys are going to take this weekend off. You ain't done no work this week. Here's an idea. Let me help you. I promise you, you'll be a lot richer if you listen to me. No more days off. Work for the next 100 days. 100 fucking straight days. And I promise you, you'll have a lot more money. It's a simple formula. Because when you're working, you can't waste time. You're going to make money. And if you're making money, then you're not spending money, right? And it's a super simple formula, man. It's a super, and now listen, it doesn't have to be shit that kills you. Like, there's a lot of ways to make money that doesn't bust your back, man. There's so many ways. And I'm not where you're at. You have to work with what you have, with where you are, with what you can do. I don't have your skill set. I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you live. You know, I've done everything from shovel snow to mow yards. I mowed yards, fucking push mowers and lawnmowers to buy the first 3 houses that I bought. As a grown man out there fucking mowing yards. But guess what? I had a notebook. Had about 30 properties. Taxed, all this money coming in. And I took that money. I didn't need the money. See, the trick to money is having money you don't need. The moment you have money, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 that you don't need to spend on food, electricity, and all that shit, you don't need it. You already paid your bills. You're good. The moment you have chunks of money, now you get to level up. You could save that up. You could open a restaurant. You could start a business. You could put it in investments. You could put it in, like there's so many options. And I don't know what your natural bent is or your skill set or or where you're inclined. But I do know this. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Because sometimes I'll hear people say to me, because, I have all these houses. So watch these numbers. So when I say 15, I know people go, yeah, well, that guy on YouTube, I don't give a fuck about that guy on YouTube, okay? That guy on YouTube has nothing to do with you, right? So I'm just a guy who mowed yards. And all I did was get into the money flow. Now, how do you think I get these houses? Now watch. I want you to see the multiplying effect that happens here. How do you think I get these? And my friends who all work, there's 15 of them, right? My friends work jobs with me. They don't have 15. Why? They took weekends off, man. This is what I did on the weekend. This was a part-time thing, man. Everything that's ever made me money was a part-time thing. It was just some shit I did on the side. So I wrote the Money Flow book like 6 years ago, right? This book here. It was my trading strategy. I wrote it for me. There was nobody to buy it. Nobody knew who the fuck I was. Why would anybody buy a book and they don't know who you are? See, a lot of people are waiting to get paid to do something. I wrote that and then I put it on a shelf. It wasn't 2 years later till I sold the first book. Let me say that again. Now I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of that book. So I wrote it 6 years ago. Nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. It was 24 months later I sold the first copy. And then it was another year of me teaching, talking to people on Instagram before people started buying it. And then people bought it and go, oh man, this shit works. Yeah. And so it was a 5-6 year journey, man, of me living it, teaching it, talking about it before it began to work. I wrote this one long before that. I wrote that when I had 10 houses, 1 through 10. So what is that? These 2 rows here. I haven't even bought the bottom row. Nobody gave a fuck, dude. Nobody cared. Nobody cared about that. Because here's the truth. Nobody cares about you, man, until they get to know you. But how are they going to know you until they know who you are, right? And so one of the things about internet, Instagram, this and that, I see people talk about, I need to disconnect from social. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard, man. You're a real estate agent, you should be on social. Some of the richest real estate agents in the world have YouTube channels. They're on Instagram, right? Some of the richest salesmen in the world are using these tools. These are tools. Use them, man. Now, don't be used by them. Use them. And so all these people you hear saying, oh, I'm going to get off Maynard. These are, I can't even comprehend it, dude. What's going on? Why did that turn off? Instagram went off on me, man. Due to poor connection. What's going on? Yeah, man, let me post the Twitch so we can get some people on Twitch, man. Come on, man. Let me get on here with these Twitch. Try to help these kids out. Give me just a second, man. Let's pin that, man. We don't have many people on here today, do we? I guess everybody's working, man. Can we see how many are on Twitch? What's going on? It doesn't show me, man. We got 20, man. How about that? We got 20. So, and I'm being dead serious. These, like today you saw me out driving around. Now I have a bunch more, so I got to do shit during the day. It takes a lot of my time, right? But when I first started buying, this is a weekend thing, man. I got a job, I got a baby, I got a wife, I got all this shit going on. The only way to do this is I got to steal it. I mean, steal it, dude. I mean, sometimes you got to argue and fight. You got to push back at family. Mom, I can't do that. I can't make it. Sorry. Like, that's what that came about. Like, I got these by pushing. It wasn't handed. Like, the world is set up against you to take this shit, man. Nobody wants you to go out and buy 15 houses. Banks aren't going to want to lend you the money. The people selling the house aren't going to want to give you a deal. And when you go to buy it, you're not going to know how to fix it. There's going to be problems, man. It's not going to be laid out. And people, sometimes when I talk, they're like, well, I don't know how to work. Nobody does, man. You're not born knowing how to fucking walk. You don't know how to drive a car until somebody fucking teaches you. That doesn't keep you from getting in the car. So the way you learn is you go buy fucking property. You've lived in houses your whole life. It ain't a secret. It doesn't get weird until you decide you're going to buy a second one. Oh, but I don't know. No, you've been in a house your whole damn life. As a baby, they took you from the hospital and put you into real estate. How, after 18 fucking years of being in real estate, you go, I don't understand real estate? Like you're living it. This is real estate right here. Drywall. Behind this, insulation and 2x4s and wiring. It ain't that complicated. This sits on 2x12s. They run like this. They sit on blocks. It ain't no more complicated than that. Right? You're paying for the land, the utility hookups, the septic system. You can just begin to break a house down into component parts, man. If you can play a fucking video game, you could buy real estate. It ain't that complicated. You've been in it your whole life. Some reason people get weird about it. They're like, well, I don't know. Same with stocks. So let's say you want to buy a stock. Well, you go to Starbucks. You understand Starbucks. Right? You use their stuff. Now, I get it. There's more to investing than just that. But you know what? There is just that too. There is just, I use it. So I own shares of Zillow. Zillow's been going down. I got people, oh, you think we should share Zillow? Man, shut the fuck up. No, we're not selling Zillow, man. Like, seriously, get your shit together. We're buying more Zillow. What in the fuck are you talking about? Seriously. We are not selling it, man. What fucking planet are you from? See, when I talk to people, they're like, yeah, it's called courage. You know what it's like to be surrounded by people fucking doubting all the time? Worried, concerned, when you don't have any doubt and you're not worried? It drives you crazy, man. Now, some of that comes with age. So listen, when I go buy house 16, there's going to be problems. I don't know how to fix them. I don't have the answer for it. But guess what? That house is still there. And when I'm dead, it'll still be there. In other words, we'll figure it out, right? You think Zillow's going out of business? You think DraftKings is going out of business? You think Uber's going out of business? Come on, man. Right? You'll hear me say this all the time. Investing takes courage. This shit here is not about knowledge. This is about courage. Because it takes courage to get up and say, hey, you know those 8 days a month? Yeah, I'm going to take those back. You ever look at it that way? You ever look at those 8 days you take off? Shit, some people taking 12 off. They got more off days than I can imagine. I had a friend who was a fireman. He only worked 4 days a week. I'm like, how the fuck aren't you rich? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, he only worked like 12 days a month, bro. What do you do the rest of the time? Oh, you know. In other words, nothing. And then he's bitching about not having enough money. Yeah, no shit, dude. You got all these days where you don't make money. Right? So this is just mindset stuff, like switching the way you see things, man. So if you're going to get on the other side of the cash register, you got to own the cash register. You got to get your mind around that, right? So this is just a push. Anybody can do this, but you got to get the money. You don't get the money relaxing. They don't give you money relaxing, right? And nobody gives you money relaxing. So let's say, just watch this. Here's what happens. The more money you get and the more equity and the more stocks, the easier this shit gets. It's just hard in the beginning. See, once you get 1 mil, getting 2 mil is real easy. One, you already know how to do it. You're not going to make all the same mistakes. You got courage. You're not going to get freaked out. You're not going, oh, you think we should sell this? You're like, oh, cool, man. Bring it down. Let's buy some more. Like, you're not thinking like that. You're not thinking, you're not doing that. You're seeing opportunity, right? Once you've been through about 8, 9, 10 crashes and busts and stuff, you don't get worried about that shit anymore. Once you have the buckets right, we're going to get into that. Once you have your necessities bucket, savings bucket, and you have the investing allocated correctly, the things that freak everyone else out don't freak you out. They just don't, man. They don't phase you like everybody else because every problem is an opportunity. When I bought this house as a foreclosure, there's a dude that sold it to me. Get this. He's selling this at a loss. I'm buying it. He's selling, I'm buying. What the fuck is the difference? Why couldn't he do what I'm about to do? He's selling me the same thing. Right? You see what I'm saying? Why is he blowing out and selling me a house? Does that make sense? We're buying the same thing, man. So if you sell me a foreclosure and I buy a foreclosure from you, why is that an opportunity for me and why is that a problem for him? He got his buckets wrong, right? He's seeing life different. He got some shit twisted. I guarantee it's because he took a lot of days off. Because if he could take some days back and get some money from those days, he wouldn't be losing his house in foreclosure. Right? I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Usually there's a tragedy involved. Breakup, the 4 Ds, right? Death, divorce, disease, and disinterest. That's why you don't want partners. A lot of you guys talking about doing partners with real estate. Why would you do that? The only reason you want to have partners is you're scared. The only partner, if you ain't sleeping with them, they shouldn't be your partner when you're first getting started. Now, I'm not saying there's not exceptions to that. I'm not saying that maybe you and your twin brother, you like to do everything together. You've been playing together since grade school, and now you can't break off and go different ways. I get it. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying you don't need a partner to buy a house. That's just fear-based. Just go buy the damn house. They'll give a monkey a house. The first one, just go buy it, right? And then get the second one. A lot of you guys are renting right now. You should go buy a house and just live in it. Go buy a fucked up house too. I mean a fucking disaster. Just fucked up and live in it. If you ain't got no kids right now, you should be living in a fucking disaster. And every day after work, you work on it. This is such a simple formula. Now you're not gonna do it because you value these days off more than you value getting rich. That's most people. I don't give a fuck what they say. That is the truth. They value days off more than they value getting rich. People will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. That's straight from Tony Robbins. People will do more to avoid pain. This is pain. You don't get 15 houses easy. That's pain. That's getting up early. That's staying late. That's going over there. That's a lot of problems. Every day I wake up, I got problems. Every day. It starts the moment I'm awake. Today, renter call, $170 water bill. No shit. Toilet's running, right? It's always something. Power's not on this house. This is wrong over here. It's just one thing after another. So if you're a person that doesn't like aggravation, you don't like problems, you don't like, well, you're not going to get rich. Getting rich is about solving problems. So the person who assumes the most problems, the most responsibility, takes on the most shit, that's the person that gets rich. You don't think Oprah Winfrey had a bunch of fucking responsibility? You don't think Donald Trump had a bunch of shit on him? You don't think, just go down the list. Look at everyone that you respect, love, and like. It's because of massive amounts of responsibility they took on. That's why you admire them, right? Look at what's his name from Africa? How many years he spent in prison? I got guys can't hold stock 7 days because it's going down. This motherfucker went to prison for 30 years, right? So they get a book with a formula that's been working now for I don't know how many years, ready to sell the stock. This dude sits in prison 30 years, gets out, does the same thing. They freaked out about a stock going down. It gets hard, man. It gets hard on my end. It gets hard on my end to just listen to weakness instead of courage, man. I like courage. I feed on that too, man. If you surround yourself with weak, scared people, guess what? You feel it, man. It starts to agitate you, especially if you're strong. If you're strong and have courage, you get pissed being around. You'll see on my stories, I get fucking mad, dude. Why? Because I hate weakness, man. I don't get up to be weak. I don't get up to be scared or a coward or worried. That's not why I'm getting up. I get up to see opportunity. See, there's always opportunity. Doesn't matter if a stock's going up or down, there's opportunity. If it's going down, good. Good. See, most people are not there yet. That takes time, maturity. Just like to get 15 houses takes time. Unless you could somehow buy them in one transaction, right? If you got a bunch of money, you could do it. People will be like, well, what about multifamily? Fuck, man, don't ask me that stupid question if you don't have a house. If you ain't got one house, we don't need to talk about multifamily. Now we're just mental masturbation. Like, we don't need to talk about multifamily if you don't have one house. If you can't buy one house, why are you looking at 5 houses? Like, seriously, I just try to keep the game as simple as possible. If you don't have enough in you to go get one house, you don't need to spend any time researching multifamily. Right? So here's what people tend to do. I don't read books on real estate. I buy real estate. Just keeping it real. I don't buy books on real estate. There's nothing to read. It's all in action. You say, well, yeah, but what? Ask your realtor. Ask your banker. Ask your lender. There's people who teach it on Instagram. There's nothing you need in a course or a book. Anybody selling you a course on real estate, it's complete bullshit. You don't need a course. You've lived in real estate since the day you were born. You were born in real estate. They carried you from that real estate to a vehicle and then drove you to more real estate. I mean, it really is that simple. It is not that fucking complicated to buy a single house. And people say, well, you need it. No. It is super simple. How much is the mortgage? That's not a hard question. How much is the insurance? You say, well, I don't even know how to price that. Call an insurance agent and say, hey, I'm buying this house. Here's the address. How much would the insurance be? Now you know. You write it down. And you say, well, how much are the property taxes? You Google your county. You say how much are property taxes. They'll give you, in my area, it's 1.5% of the value of the home. You can calculate it out. Realtor gives it for you. Like, this shit is so simple. All you got to do is get good credit and have some money, man. I got off on real estate because I get mad about it because it's so simple. God damn, why does this keep going off? Instagram just keeps fucking up on this thing, man. I apologize for that. Why does Instagram keep fucking up? I don't know what's going on. I think it's that phone, man. Don't worry about it, man. I'm recording it for YouTube. So let's get back to the money flow. I felt like I had to say that, man. I'm sick of people asking about real estate. Just go buy the fucking house, man. It ain't that complicated. You want to buy a rental house, not a damn house your parents live in, right? You don't go buy a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. You go buy a little 900, 1,100 square foot home, man. It's beat up. The worse, the better. Paint should be peeling. Roof needs to be replaced. Needs a new AC unit. Foundation's all fucked up. That's what you want, man. That's what you're looking for. So the millionaire blueprint is pretty simple. You got your well, how you make money. Goes over here to bills. I don't talk a lot about that. I think it's common sense on bills, right? And investing. Here's what a lot of people do. They make money at their job, right? So we'll call this a job or a business, could be your business. And they pay some bills and then they throw some money into a 401k or their retirement, right? And if you have 401k, I highly doubt you know who even manages the fund, what the funds are, what it does. Most people don't. But let's say you do, or let's say you're buying. So if you own a detail shop or whatever, then you go set up your own IRA, man. Like, don't wait on people to come to you about this shit. Nobody's going to come to your business. If they are, you probably don't want to use them and go, hey, can I help you set up your retirement? You got to do that. And it could be as simple as just an index fund, the Dow, S&P. I would do one of those two. And it's that simple. And you just put money in it. You're allowed to put, $6,000 a year now. I think I can put $7,000. In my book, I talk about how to do the dogs of the Dow. And you just do that. And if you just do that every month, you're going to have $1 million. It's going to take a while, but you'll have $1 million. It's that simple. So everyone you see that are old and retirement without $1 million, it's just because they didn't do this. It's not that they don't know how. They know how to do all kinds of things. I meet people all the time. They're doctors, broke. You're telling me a doctor that's broke couldn't make more money than me? Come on, man. Right? You get what I'm saying? It's just their mind wasn't on it. And so no one's going to come and tell you this. You have to go and get it. You have to seek out that information. So no one's going to tell you that. Here's what the world's going to tell you. Man, you need to relax. You need to enjoy life. You need to slow down. Right? This is what the world's going to tell you. Your mama's going to say you're doing good just as you are. I love you just like you are. That's what your mama's going to tell you. You're doing good, baby. Don't worry about it. Well, let me let you in on something. You ain't doing good. Ain't nobody on here doing good. Everybody on here needs more money. If you don't need more money, I don't know why the fuck you're watching me, right? Everyone on here needs more money. You're not doing good. You think you're doing good. So what you're going to need is a second well. Now that can look like a lot of things. I don't know what that looks for you. I get it. Some jobs make that hard. Let's say you're a nurse. Nursing's hard. But you know what nurses do have? OT. There you go. There's your second well, right? Now, let's say you're married. And your husband, that lazy fuck, he only works 40 hours a week. Most women would be rich if they weren't married. I'm be honest. Most ladies I met have everything they need. They got the ability to save. They got the drive. They want to do shit. They just married to lazy motherfuckers. That's it. The guy does his little 40, he comes home, he's relaxing. You know? Or they got the opposite. She's bitching all the time because he's out trying to make some money. And so it's usually one person is about this and the other is more like, hey, let's just spend all our money, stay in debt, and then vote left wing when we're older. Like that's usually the formula, right? So we don't want to do that. So we got to have a way to create multiple streams. Now, I'm leaving out the possibility that life just fucks you. That can happen. You could be a great poker player and get bad cards. You could have all this down and get cancer. That's life, man. It shit ain't fair. You know, I don't know if you know that, but it ain't. Whoa, something just popped in my ears. What the fuck? Oh, okay. So, necessities. I don't know what you need to live. I don't know where you live. I don't know how much it costs. I know this, if you bust your ass and you have a real job and you're working, at the end of the month you ain't got no money, you need to fucking move. Like, come on, man. You can't stay where you can barely survive, right? So, I don't have the answer to that. You got to make your own decisions. But over here, you know, you're going to have all your debts. You're going to have your electric bill. We all have these things, right? It costs me like $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month just to do the Gerald Peters show. Car insurance, health insurance. I got multiple houses, like all this stuff, right? Swimming pools, house cleaners, fucking beer, like all the things that, you know, and I go a 7-day, I work every day. Every single day. Now, I happen to love what I do. When I go on vacation, I work. Most of my books have been written on vacation. So I just like doing activity and like experimenting, and I'm okay with losing. I'll buy a stock, fuck it, take it to zero. I don't give a fuck. It's just money. When you work a lot and make a lot of money, you can lose some money, man. You can experiment. This is how you get, so when you go and, so when we get over here to savings, we got money going into savings. This is where a lot of you get messed up. Because I get these questions all the time, and you claim to have read my book, and then you send me this question, and you say, Gerald, I got $30,000 in my savings account. What do you think I should do with it? Read the book? Why the fuck are you sitting on 30 grand? They're sitting on 30 grand because they're scared. Well, what if something happens? What if it doesn't? We could say that just as easy. What if it doesn't? Here's another one. Handle it when it does. Like, yeah, we need money in savings. And the older we get, the more money we need there. Because we got more responsibilities, right? So if you got no kids, you don't need 30K sitting in savings. Okay? If you got 4 kids, you might need 30K sitting in savings. So there's some common sense applied here, right? But, and I see this a lot. They got 35K in savings and no money in investments. And they're trying to figure out what to do. I would eliminate this and I would push it. But we gotta, well, again, that depends on age. And it also depends on your responsibilities, right? So, but the first thing we gotta do is get rid of these debts. You can't get rid of an electric bill, can't get rid of food bill. You're gonna go to the gym, that's cool. You're gonna subscribe to some things, great. I'm not talking about shave your head, drink Kool-Aid. Now maybe you need to do that. If after you get rid of all your debts, you're barely getting by, maybe that's what you need to do. But chances are that's not what you need to do, right? Chances are. And you say, well, I spent a lot eating out. Here's a fucking option. You could go work instead of eating out. That's an option. So in other words, if you just begin to exchange the activities that you do for activities that produce, their production, maybe a sales job, maybe a phone job at night, maybe you manufacture something, maybe you know a skill, maybe you know something that I don't know and you could create a course and then I would buy it and you would create royalties for yourself, right? Like one of the things I do on the side, teaching stocks is not my main job. Buying real estate and investing is my main job. I got over $1 million in the stock market. I don't need to sell books. It's something I do because this is the blueprint, right? So I have like 5 of these wells going that make me money. What's another one? I manage properties. Property manager, right? Well, that pays money. People pay rent. We get to keep the money, right? So that's one. And so I had a business as my main one. What, royalties for books, right? What, rents for owning rental properties. Rents are cash flow. Rents are income. So people think, oh, it's real estate investing. It is, but at the same time, real estate is a business. So if you don't outsource it, now you're what? Property manager, right? So we'll just call it property PM, property manager. So if I was to pay a property manager to manage all 15 of my properties, that would cost me like $2,000 a month. Why would I do that? Why don't I do it? So money not going out is the same as money coming in. If you're cutting a check for $300 and you don't cut it next month, You got 300 more than you had last month, right? Money not going out, same as money coming in. So if you believe that philosophy, that's why you eliminate debt. Because that's reverse dividends, man. Debt is reverse investing. There's no point running down here and investing when you owe over here. Now, people will disagree with me. That's all right. You're allowed to be dumb in America. It's perfectly acceptable. Matter of fact, it seems like we prefer the dumber you are, the more we want you to. I mean, you got to eliminate debt before you get down here. And so let me let you know what is day trading is not creating a well. Now, that might be experimenting. You can play around with that, but that's not creating a well. That's not going to work. You'd make more money going to McDonald's and pulling some shifts than you'll make day trading. I can almost assure you, until you develop skills, right? But well, to do that, you need money, right? So if you want to day trade, good, but you're going to need $100,000, $200,000. I mean, let's be real. Anybody telling you different is bullshitting you, man. You're going to need about $250,000 to successfully be a day trader. If you're going to try to make a living at it, you're not going to do that on a few grand. The stock market is not about you making money. Like, people contact me like this all the time. Hey man, I'm about to go to school. I'd like to trade stocks as a way to make some extra money. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not what it is. I mean, nobody does that. The only people getting paid to trade like that are people that manage money. Let me let you in on something. The only people getting paid like that are people that manage money. Very few people are sitting at home just trading stocks to make money. Now, a lot of people will tell you they are. Bullshit. They have a spouse working, they have this going, they have that going. That's why you see people, they've got a course go, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're doing other shit because stock trading isn't consistent money. Nobody is making consistent money. If they are lying or lucky. Recently. I've never met anyone over a long 7 to 10 year period who's consistently every month pulling out. That is bullshit, and I challenge anybody. Matter of fact, fuck, we can go live if you think I'm live. And then let me see your tax return. Let me see your tax return. That's bullshit. Nobody does that. What it becomes is a second well. Let me tell you, on real estate, same thing. So I go out and I start buying houses. I got 3 or 4. I can't live on 3 or 4 houses. Now, I got an extra $1,000 a month, but I ain't living on that, right? No, that's just going into the pot, man. It's going into the pot. So if I'm trading successfully, it's just going into the pot. It's going into the pot. So I'm working my job. I got my little side business. I got this hustle. I'm trading, and I got you see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I'm doing to make money. And that means, guess what? On Saturday, I got to do a little work. Yeah, I'll catch up with you guys. I got to do this, and then we'll go do that, right? And so if you got, well, fuck it, I'm just off all day. You really don't have much going on. You know, you're probably broke. I can't do that. I got way too many responsibilities. I got 500 people in my trading group. I got newsletters to publish, writing books, working on new course. I got 15 rental properties. I got properties to manage. I got a house I'm selling. I got 1 I'm trying to buy. Got 2 I'm remodeling, right? That's a lot. So any moment I wake up, there's a lot going on. If you got just free days, we're not doing the same thing. You're doing something different. You're doing the poor man's program. So when you see your dad, he's just chilling on Saturday, taking a whole day off. Like, well, he's doing something different. Now, if that's your goal, that's cool. I'm not mad at anybody doing that. I'm just trying to talk to people trying to get rich. And I'm just trying to be honest with you, how it works. And it ain't going to be because you just start trading some stocks. That's going to be one thing, right? And we talk about the money flow, and I don't like to babble about debt. It's just boring to me. It seems pretty simple. Pay it off. And I don't care about interest rates and all that. You didn't use math when you got into debt. I don't know why you're using math now. Smart people like to do that. It's like, why didn't you use all that intelligence before you caused the problem? Why are you using it now? Just get out of it. Just pay it off, right? So as you get these investments going, this is going to look like real estate. It's going to look like, I talk about BDCs. I talk about REITs. I don't consider REITs stocks. They are, but they're not, okay? There's REITs, and there's different kinds of REITs, and then there's just common stocks, like Uber, shit like that, right? They don't pay a dividend, but guess what? It's worth money. It's going to appreciate. And then there's dividend stocks, right? So we got real estate. You know, if you get into businesses and side things, like if you buy a business or buy, like this is more wells usually, right? And so if you can eliminate the debt and you got a little bit of savings, we talked about, depending on your age, the bigger the savings, more your responsibilities, right? Single mom, I get it, blah, 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 you're gonna need a little more savings. Totally makes sense. Yeah, use some common sense here. It does you no good to sit on 50 G's. You're 22 years old and you're sitting on $50,000. That's fucking stupid, right? We get down to real estate, you know, we can do real estate. Now, maybe you have no interest in that. Cool. Like, not everybody's interested in the same things. Don't do it. That doesn't mean you can't invest in it. Go look at a company like NIRA. Go look at this company. They're a syndication. Man, I remember I said they buy hospitals, they buy apartment buildings, they buy those skyscrapers you see, malls. You can invest with them. Get the same tax advantages, all that shit. You're investing, you're riding along. Like, I'm sure you've seen Grant Cardone. That's what he does. He's a syndicator. Don't do it with, well, I shouldn't say that. He'll probably sue me. But do it with don't do it with the ones that are buying these fancy ass Class A's. Like, put some effort and research into it when you start doing that. But that is a possibility, okay? You could invest in fine art. I mean, there's so much shit right now that you could put money into. But, you know, the basics are stocks, REITs, you know, real estate syndications are fine. If you live in New Jersey, LA, you're overseas, this is a fine option. I got a friend who's got over 800 grand in this company right here. Gets paid every month, takes no phone calls, none of that shit. It's just money coming in. That's a great option. I mean, I don't have any money with them. I'm just saying there are companies like this that'll do that part of your investing for you. So if you have an interest in real estate, but you can't, for whatever reason you've come up with, that is an option. You know, and then the stocks, right? And then we build our savings, we eliminate the debt. And that's the pattern, man. It's the same pattern. And you can accelerate your process. Watch this. Especially if you make a lot of money, man. This is, if you're a guy that makes a lot of money, I had to work a lot because I didn't make a lot of money. You say, Gerald, I make $450. Well, take Saturday off, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying when I say that? When I talk about people pushing, like, I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying, but if you don't make a lot, you got to make up for it. So if they pay you $12 an hour, shit, work 2 shifts. Now you made 24. Depends on how you look at it, right? So if you go look at a compound curve, it looks like this, right? Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. And eventually when you're 60 fucking years old, you're up here, right? Isn't that how most of them look? You ever see those compound curves? Well, here's what I figured out. I figured this out through real estate. What if I just start over here? Like, what if we skip this $50, $100, $50? Like, what if we just fuck that? I don't want to do that. I mean, let's just get rid of all this shit. All this $100, let's just skip all of that. And let's just start with 100 or 50. You know, and then we just start throwing chunks at it. 3,000, 5,000. Guess what happens? Yours goes like this, and you're like 36, 40. That's what happens, man. When you accelerate it, when you push yourself down the curve, and it doesn't, a lot of times people think, well, this compound thing only works with stocks. No, bullshit. It works with everything, man. So remember I drew 15 houses, right? I drew 15 houses. What do you think that looks like on the compound curve? So a guy buys 1 house. Well, let's just go over here to 15, you know? Because let's say each house is worth 100, you know, let's keep it simple, 100K. They're worth more than that, and there's 15 of them. That's 1.5 million, right? Well, and that appreciates at what, 5% a year? What's 5% of that? That's $75,000. So the appreciation alone is $75K a year if I just break even. If I don't make any money. If I get out of bed, I just break even this year. My net worth will go up $75,000 just based on the fact that I own 15 houses. Now think about a friend of mine like Rick Jarman. He has 128 houses, or he owns 300-unit apartment building. This is why they get rich, because they're so far down the compound curve. It's not that multifamily is better than single family. Damn, 300 houses is the same as 300 doors at an apartment building. And we could argue about the efficiency of having everything under one roof, whatever. But you get my point. If you own 300 houses, they're appreciating just like 300 apartment buildings. 300 of anything. So, you know, so now when this is going up 75,000 a year, right? Well, what if I'm getting a couple hundred on each house, right? Loan pay down. You start adding this up and it goes up the supply. I mean, the curve, it starts to go exponentially, man. You see how that works? So like, I think in my dividend stocks now, it's about 700,000, I think. I forget. Anyway, it's about 1,700 a month in dividends. I don't need that money. I make money other ways. So what do? I pile it back into this curve. Oh, and I'm still putting in. So the numbers begin to grow exponentially. And so it pushes you up the curve, right? And so I guess my point is you can only get to that if you push. Nobody's going to come bite you. Nobody's going to invite you to these parties, man. You're going to have to go get it. Nobody's going to ask you, hey, you want to buy 15 houses? Nobody's going to do that. The only way you get that is you get up in the morning and you decide, fuck this place. I'm going to get mine. That's it. It's the only way, man. You got to go get that shit. That's it. What's going on Twitch, man? Let's stop that video.